So I'm going to be painting the face scales this sort of creamsicle orange. So I got to turn the music down in my ears a little bit because I can't hear myself. I bought this headset because it was supposed to have the microphone in your ear as well as the computer sound, but I've never figured out how to turn that on, so it doesn't work. And I accidentally painted a little bubble into her nostril, so I'm just gonna try and see if I can't fix that. There we go. I have like a swarm of birds outside of my house the last few days. I don't know if nobody else in my neighborhood has bird feeders or what, but every time that feeder goes out there, the last several days, they just get like a dozen birds at a time in the yard, just like hanging out. Alright, trying to get into a comfortable position where my hand won't be in the way here. I'm painting in really thin layers, and I don't actually have another project to do while I wait for the layers to dry, so I may just make some more eye chips in between layers. And I'm not trying to get completely perfect coverage. I just want to not have really noticeable dark spots and kind of blend the edges a bit better in here where I sort of overlapped the green. I think my brush is getting a little too dry, so I'm going to wet it after I get this paint on. I also have a groundhog that showed up in my yard today and has been eating all of the little dropped pieces from the bird feeder. I didn't know that groundhogs ate the same things as birds. But he keeps coming into the yard and like picking out stuff under the bird feeder. I don't know if he's going to be a regular in the backyard now too. Almost makes me a little sad that we're moving because we're getting all these cool animals. I hope the next place we move to also has the park nearby so that we still get cool wildlife. And I need to bring this out a little bit because I made the other side come out farther and I want it to be somewhat even. Just eyeball it really quick. Yeah, that's better. Alright, so it's getting there. I don't know why this camera is reading the light so weird today. So it's getting there. I do want to add more around these edges because I think the green is still too harsh. So I'm going to go in with a round brush and just kind of do another line around there. Yeah, and then I'm going to stick it in a box, spray some dull coat on it really quick to add a layer of seal, and then I'm going to start adding the shading in with pencils. I had to completely reset my OBS, and I don't know what it's doing today. Having some difficulties. Okay, I think it is my camera that's not picking up light properly today and not something with OBS. Just trying to get it somewhere where there's not so much glare. And I don't understand it because the light that is over my head is not very bright and there's no sun outside. So, like, even this side of my face is showing up really bright on the camera. There's not sun out there. I don't know what's up with that. Let me make myself smaller also because if I'm going to be up closer, I don't want to take up as much of the screen with my face. Okay. I think that's as good as it's going to get. So, let me grab my round brush really quick. And I have to like reach over the camera now because the camera's right here. Do you guys see my new chair? Isn't it beautiful? Oh, it's so comfy. I'm going to live in this chair now. Especially because the last several days I've been having a lot more pain in my hips than normal. So like sitting on my couch is really getting to be painful. And even sitting in the old office chair that I had at the table here wasn't really cutting it. My hips just hurt, man. I don't know what I did. I don't know if I like took an awkward step going up or down the stairs at one of the open houses maybe over the weekend. Because it started when I got home on Saturday. I started noticing that it was hurting pretty bad. I don't know if I'm just like unusually tense and it's pulling something out of alignment maybe. Because obviously having EDS, that can be an issue. Like my joints are not stable. And all it takes is one wonky step or even just like my muscles being too tight to pull something out of alignment enough to be really painful. Okay, I may need to let this layer underneath dry a little better. Oops. Because I'm just taking the paint off every time I brush over it. So I'm going to let that sit for a minute. And I just realized I never changed my title screen here. Okay, my title is fixed. Hey, Julie. Look at my nice new chair. I think I have to get out of it to really get it on the camera. So much nicer than the old one. I spent like an hour today putting this together. And suddenly I realized why they charged $60 to do it, because, oh my god, I was so tired by the time I was done. If I weren't poor, I would have just paid the $60 and had it assembled for me. But I don't think you can get the one-day delivery, and I really, really wanted it now. I didn't want to wait for it. Because like I was just saying before, my hips have really been bothering me since Saturday. I was dying to have my comfortable chair to sit in. Give them a little bit of a break. Okay, yeah, that's going on a little bit better now that I let that layer dry a little more. My mom has the same chair, actually. She got it for work, like, I don't know, a year or 2 years ago-ish. She still really likes hers, so... I had my eyes on another one, but the one I really wanted is not on a very good sale. And my second choice was, so I was going to get my second choice chair. And then I sat in this one at the store again, and I was like, all right, I really do like this one. And I went home and looked online, and this one was not on sale in the store, but it was on sale online for $150. And it's like a $280 chair, so that's a really good sale. So I got this one instead. I am in Aries. Why, is there something in my horoscopes about having sore hips or getting a nice chair? Okay. I'm gonna let this dry. I want to touch up right here, and up here one last time. And then I'm going to start adding in the pinks and purples with the pencils. Yeah, okay. Yeah, that's fair. I am probably one of the most impatient people that I know. So, yeah. And competitive to a fault, too. I hear that that's an Aries thing. Okay, I'm not going to worry too much about the eye holes being perfect because I'm going to do makeup around the eyes because she is a girl alien, despite the fact that she is starting to look a little bit fierce. I have I have a swarm of birds again on the feeder. Like every half an hour or so, they all come at once. Okay, try and put this last layer on here. That's a lot of impatience in one person. This is just not laying down right here. I'm going to actually grab my box. Oh, several squirrels, but they're not getting into the feeder today. Alright, let me spray this really quick. This is not MSC, by the way. I would never spray that in my house. Just trying to give it a little extra tooth because it's not, the paint is not holding. So I'll let that sit. Takes about 10 seconds to dry. Oh, thanks. Yeah, I wasn't either, but I saw it on Casey's site, and I absolutely had to have it. I love it so much. It's one of my favorite shirts. Okay. It's gonna take maybe a little extra to dry because I kind of sprayed it on thick. But I'm hoping this will just settle that layer of paint enough that I can add to the spots that are still that still have green showing through. Almost there. Okay. You should get one. Oh my gosh, they're so nice. They're like super soft, and it's not like one of those foil prints where it's like crackly. I don't know if I get the camera right up, but it's like a soft print. They're super nice shirts. I'm keeping an eye out, Julie, because I have a groundhog hanging out in my yard today. And every so often he comes back and he'll like pick at the stuff on the ground that the birds are dropping from the feeder. So I'm keeping my eye out for this groundhog to come back because I've been trying to capture it on a video. And I haven't managed to catch him yet. I keep scaring him off. So I'm going to try and be a little more sneaky if he comes back and see if I can't get him. I do. Man, I was saying before, it makes me a little sad to be moving because, like, we live so close to the park that we get a lot of really cool wildlife just, like, wandering through the neighborhood. So I'm hopeful that the next place we move will still be at least somewhat park adjacent because we'll never get crazy stuff like this. We had a family of raccoons living under the shed last year. I think they're living in one of the neighbors' yards. At least a couple of them are living in one of the neighbors' yards this year. Because I see them walking through, but they're not under our shed. Which I promise I'm not just saying because we want to sell the house. I kind of wish they were, because I still think it's kind of fun to have them there. Like, they don't bother anything, and they just walk through the yard. But, yeah, they're not living here. They just pass through. It's sort of more like an animal highway than a proper zoo, because lots of critters come through here, but most of them don't hang around. This is actually the second time we've had a groundhog, but the first time he came through, he was just passing through and he didn't stay at all. And this time he keeps coming back to get himself snacks. Unfortunately, I think I scared him away last time I was trying to chase the squirrels off. I hope I didn't. I really hope he does come back. I didn't mean to chase him off because he was being good. He's staying on the ground where he belongs. But I had to go out there and, like, grease up the pole for the bird feeder because there was a squirrel sitting in the feeder chasing off birds. Like, even if they get up in the feeder, I'm tempted to just let them sit there for a minute and snack and then just move on. But, like, this little jerk was chasing the birds away. That's their food. Yeah, the trash pandas. I love them. They're so cute. It was a little scary when there were 5 of them because, like, I wasn't sure how aggressive they are. But we called the wildlife people to ask if we needed to have them removed and how we would go about doing that. And they basically said that as long as you don't, like, corner them and try to pet them, they won't come anywhere near you. So we just let them be, and eventually they just moved. They went and lived somewhere else. Okay. Okay, I'm pretty happy with the coverage of that, so I'm going to spray it one more time and then start with the pencils, adding the shading in. Actually, there is a little spot right on the top that I'm going to fix first. Yeah, we had a super obnoxious chipmunk just sitting in the yard, chirping, like screaming all day yesterday. I guess he got the idea in his head that he wanted to try the cicada life. But unfortunately, the cicadas have a nice, pleasant sound, and this guy was just chirp, 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 chirping all day. Just the one monotone little note. Chirp, 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 chirp. I think it was probably mad because we didn't fill the bird feeder that day because there was a bunch of stuff in the net hanging underneath. And we kind of just wanted the birds to eat some of that before putting anything else out. But if they don't have food in the feeder, then they don't throw anything down. So the chipmunks get hungry. So I'm assuming that's why he was mad. Okay. I got a little bit of this color on the teeth. I don't know if it was in this coat or the one that I already sealed. But I'm going to have to repaint the teeth anyway because I accidentally, I don't know if you can see, but I painted one of them green. So I gotta fix that, and I have to fix the little tips of the forked tongue that I also accidentally painted green and didn't notice until I had sealed. Yeah, I think that was on the other layer because it's not coming off. Oopsies! That's okay. Alright, let me... Thanks! I'm really proud of them, actually. They came out really well. They look kind of crazy from behind. Because I had carved a little too much off of the front of the face and there wasn't quite enough to stick it to, so I had to put a whole bunch of extra epoxy in the back to support them, so they had something to hold on to. So from the front they look great, but from the inside it's kind of a hot mess. And I also had to paint the bar here because from certain angles it's actually visible from the front, and this way it just looks like, you know, it's kind of something in the mouth. So I'm hoping that when it's closed up it'll be dark enough that now that that is painted to match the mouth that it'll just kind of hide. I don't know how people who do the open mouth carvings don't have the bar like really visible, because I tried to hide it as best as I could, but like from a downward angle, it's still pretty clearly visible back there. I don't know. All right, are we dry? Yes. Okay, so let me grab my sketchbook really quick so I can remind myself which colors I had. All right, I think it was... No, I had used this one for the hair, so I'm going to have to find a yarn color that matches this pencil because that's what I wanted. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking, is they probably paint it dark. So I'm hoping that painting it the same color as I did the bottom of the mouth will make it kind of blend. Okay, so I want 052 was this one. Okay, so I'm gonna do, this is my sketch, and this is the colors that I'm going to be doing. So I got the orangey color here, and I did blend it more on the sketch, but I think that it'll look more like actual scales if I do it this way. If I change my mind, I still have the pastels to blend the edges, but I'm going to do the pink on the edges of the scales and then kind of blend it out with water. So that's why I've got watercolor pencils here. It'd probably be easier to do with pastels, but then I'd have to go and do a color match. So, because I really like the color that I picked. Alright, so let's try and just... I think if I use like the side and not the actual tip, it won't be quite as thick of a line, and then it'll be easier to blend, I hope. Okay, and then I'm just going to do the same thing on all the other scales in this row. Okay, and this one. Just want to kind of make sure I have at least a similar thickness on each of them before I start blending. Actually, I am going to take that all the way out. Oops. Okay, so I'm going to blend that now with my same round brush. And I may have to do a couple of coats to really get a vibrant color in there. I want to bring it down into the little creases between the scales. I hear that same annoying chipmunk out there again today. Yep. He's chilling right on my patio looking right at me. What? What do you want? Dude, chill. Oh, I think that was too wet. It just took all the color off of that scale. Oopsies. So it's pretty subtle. So I am going to add a second layer after I give this a minute to dry. I'm going to go back over it with pencils and blend it again. But I think I'm going to do the other rows first while I'm waiting. I may even just put more color on these layers. I was going pretty light, and maybe that was what the issue was. So let me try just putting more color down initially and seeing what that does. Okay, this one here. Just trying to make sure I'm following my scale pattern properly. Okay, I want a little bit over up here. Add some darker color back over. Just trying to concentrate really hard, not not make a mess with these pencils. I mean, they're easier than some things to clean up, but still kind of a pain to have to do. And some of these lines are really, really fine. It's been hot here too. It especially this past week was really, sorry, I have a hair going like into my eyeball. This past week was really bad. Every single day was like 80 or 90 degrees, and I'm really heat intolerant, so I basically couldn't go outside. All right, a little too wet again. There we go. I want to blend, I don't want to erase. There we go. I want to pull the color down into those creases. We had actually the one day a heat advisory because the heat index was over 100 degrees in Ohio. It's not supposed to get that hot up here. I mean, I don't know about other people, but one of the big reasons I live in Ohio is because it's not supposed to get over 100 degrees in Ohio. Oh, our air is on perpetually in the summer. We keep it at 68 in here. Other people come over and they freeze. We have a hefty supply of blankets because every time we have visitors, our visitors need blankets. But I'm sorry, I'm not going to make myself uncomfortable for my guests in my own house. So my mom and I, we both have medications that make us very toasty. So we don't like it warm. We keep our house cool. It doesn't run constantly, but I mean it's set to run anytime that it gets over 68. Actually, I think it has to get to 70 before it actually like turns on. But yeah, it maintains a steady temperature of 68 degrees all year. And I still sometimes have to sleep with my bedroom fan on, my overhead fan on, just because my face gets too hot. And I don't even use blankets. Like, I sleep with just my top sheet. I used to be a freeze baby, and then they put me on this medication for my dysautonomia issues, and one of the side effects is that it has raised my core body temperature. So I went from being perpetually borderline hypothermic to being like a normal body temperature. And now I'm always warm. Like, I used to have to argue with doctors that 99 degrees is a fever for me because my normal is like 97. And now my normal is like right around average. It's like 98 something. Which doesn't seem like it would be a huge difference, but like it feels like such a big difference because like I'm not constantly trying to compensate for the temperature around me anymore. Like I'm actually comfortable most of the time in my house now. Oh yeah, we get that humidity here coming off of the lakes. Northeast Ohio summers are disgustingly humid. I hate summer, honestly. Like I wish I could live somewhere that just didn't have summer at all. I want to live somewhere where the temperature is just like mild all year. As much as I like weather and having seasons, like every summer I'm reminded that I don't actually like seasons. I just like fall and winter. I very seriously considered moving to Ireland for a while because of their weather. Because a lot of places that are cool all year are also dry. And I don't do so great in dry weather because I'm prone to nosebleeds. And Ireland is fairly mild and it's wet, which, you know, most of the people who live there don't seem to appreciate, but it's kind of my ideal climate. But, you know, you got all the political issues in Ireland. As an American, I say that. It wasn't super appealing. Like if I'm gonna leave the country, I want to go somewhere that's a little more stable temperamentally. Which is why I love Canada so much. I wish I could live in Canada. Someday maybe I will. Yeah, 85% humidity is I mean that's nothing. That's that's normal here. Um but I feel you. It's rough. I can't stand it. I hate it. It's disgusting. I hate being wet, and being sweaty is the grossest kind of being wet. So, like, I hate weather that makes me sweaty and sticky, like, all the time. It's just disgusting. It makes me feel like I want to shower. And I hate showers because I hate being wet. It's a terrible, vicious cycle. Yeah, Germany I think could be good too, potentially. The main thing is that I don't speak German. And I would never be one of those people that moves to a country and doesn't speak the language. Like, it's so rude. It's so rude. I couldn't do it. Those people annoy me so much. And by those people, I basically mean Americans, because other people who move to America usually at least, like, make an effort to learn English. But Americans who move to other countries have this really bad habit of just expecting everybody to speak English to them. And I don't want to be that person, so. I'm trying to learn Korean. So I don't know, maybe at some point in the future Korea would be an option. One of my best friends is South Korean, and he's always telling me how awesome Korea is and that I would love it there, and Man, I would love to go. I would love to visit. I don't know that I could live there not speaking the language, not being able to even like read a road sign. So I'm getting better. Like I'm getting literate now. I can at least read what stuff says even if I have no idea what it means. But like it's been slow going just because learning a language as an adult is very different from learning it as like a child or a teenager. Like I did really great with languages in high school. I probably could have taken more than one if I really wanted to and done fine. But my school didn't really offer multiple languages. They offered Spanish and they offered French, and that's it. And I took 5 years of French, and I loved it. But all the Spanish classes were at the same time as the French classes, so I couldn't take Spanish and French. Even though I think those would have been the easiest because they're fairly similar. And I think that I potentially could have been good at Spanish too. I actually initially wanted to take German, and they canceled the German class because not enough people signed up, so I ended up taking French, and it ended up working out for the best. So that was my favorite class in high school. My French teacher was absolutely fantastic. He taught, like, art history and French culture, in addition to French language, like modern culture and, past cultures, as well as Native American culture and how it related to, like, the French immigrant culture. Like, we did a New Orleans section, because there obviously, there's a lot of French immigrants to New Orleans back in the day. So it was a really inclusive class that was not just a language class. And honestly, I'm really glad that I took it, because if I had gone with any other language, like, I would have missed out on so much cultural learning that I got in high school that I would not have had otherwise. So, shout out to Mr. Reynolds. Best teacher ever. Yeah, no, it's super embarrassing. We only know English here. That's why I wanted to learn other languages. Because, like, I would have been okay with just English and French, but, like, I have a Korean friend. I would love to be able to communicate, like, with his family, because his family doesn't all speak great English. And if I go to visit, like, I would love to actually have conversations with his family and not just, like, be in their house, So, and he's been one of my best friends for, like, 10 years. So I'm kind of honestly a little embarrassed of myself that I haven't bothered to learn until now. But, I am making an effort. I want to learn. I would like to learn new languages because I just think languages are cool. Like, I'm really interested in linguistics, just intellectually, I guess. I don't know. I think it's interesting knowing where words come from and how they've evolved over time and all of that. Yeah, Spanish and Italian are fairly similar too. It's all the Romance languages. Just Spanish, French, and Italian all have very similar roots. I believe they're all Latin-based. Um, don't quote me on that. It's been a few years since I took French, and I know we covered all of this, but I believe they all have their roots in Latin, and that's why all three of them are so similar. So if you learn one, you can usually learn, at least conversationally, the others fairly easily. So I do still think that it would be kind of interesting to try and learn Spanish and maybe Italian at some point, just because, I mean, I did take 5 years of French. I was not like fluent, but conversationally fluent in French. I haven't practiced in a bit. I keep meaning to do that, but I only ever have time to practice Korean. And then by the time I do that, it's like the end of the day and I'm tired and I don't really want to do French too. Yeah, so actually, one of the things that we did in my French class in high school, it's funny you should mention that you found it easier to learn by learning to sing in Spanish, because my French teacher would have us learn French pop songs and translate them into English and then listen to the songs. And then the next quarter we would bring in English songs and do the same thing but in reverse and translate them into French. And then every week on our tests, we would have the song of the week that we would translate on the test. And it's a really fantastic way to learn because, especially when you're bringing in music that you're already really feeling a connection to, there's more motivation to learn and you really understand the words better so that when you translate them, they have more meaning, if that makes sense. Like, it's not just something that you're doing just to do, but it's something that actually sticks in your brain because those words mean something. And it's also a really good way to learn phrases that you don't always use in everyday speech. So you pick up languages a lot faster if you learn through music or like through reading books, which we also did, as opposed to just like doing worksheets and stuff. So again, that was one of the reasons that I loved that class so much, because he wasn't just like, you could tell that this guy really loved what he was doing. He really appreciated the language he was teaching, and he understood how language learning works, which is a skill you would think most language teachers would have, but I've never heard of any other class doing that. Nobody I've ever talked to who went to other schools had teachers who taught that way, and it just, it makes the most sense to me to learn it that way. Because again, you get those irregular speech patterns and phrases and things that aren't in everyday speech that you otherwise wouldn't know, and then you'd be bumbling around, and it's a really good way to learn like idioms and things like that in the language that you're trying to learn. Like things that people take for granted as important parts of speech. Like, I guarantee you, if he would not have gotten in trouble, he probably would have taught us swearing, because swearing is as much an important part of French as it is English. The French love to swear. So, like, not being able to swear definitely is something that's going to single you out as a foreigner in France. And there's a scene, actually, in one of my favorite shows, Being Human, where George gets a job temporarily as a language tutor. And one of the things he's teaching... So this character, George, for people who don't watch the show, is like a really underrated, like, super genius character. He's absolutely brilliant. He speaks like 15 different languages. So he gets a job at this language school teaching English as a second language. And one of the things that the students ask, and by the way, this is adult students, so it's not like an inappropriate thing to ask. But one of the things the students ask is, you know, what are swear words? Because this is something that people make fun of us for not knowing, and it makes us stand out as being outsiders and foreigners, and, you know, it's an important part of language. And he's like, you know what? You're absolutely right. That is a hugely important part of the English language, and I think that you should learn this. So I'm going to give you, you know, an extra lesson for 10 minutes a day. We're going to practice swearing every day. And I mean, that did end up getting him in trouble on the show, but I mean, it's it's important. It's an important part of language, you know? And it's something that shouldn't be taken for granted. Yes, even in music, being able to learn with something that you connect to as opposed to just something that teaches skills. It's so important. Sarah made a post about that, about how she prefers to teach that way and offer kids to learn whatever kind of music that they want to learn because it gives them more motivation. And it absolutely does. I can say that from a music standpoint too, because I did band from 5th grade all the way up until my senior year in high school. And the most fun I ever had with it outside of marching band, which was just fun because our marching band was a very different kind of marching band, and we played like classic rock music, and that was awesome. But again, that's a big part of it, is that we played music that I really enjoy. I love classic rock, so that was kind of awesome to be able to play that. And every other school was like, man, I wish we got to play the music you guys play. But yeah, even in concert band, I still hated it. You know, marching season would end and we'd go back to playing boring classical songs in concert season. And then the one year, trying to think how to put it nicely, we all kind of referred to it as the suck band, which I think pretty much gets the point across of what it was. But the suck band didn't have a tuba player. And the band director had asked me, because I was one of the newest tuba players, and he knew I didn't really particularly enjoy the music we played in concert season, asked me if I would be the tuba player for the suck band if I got to pick the rehearsal music. Obviously, I couldn't pick the concert music, but he let me pick a lot of, you know, what we would practice. Like, what do you feel like practicing today out of our music catalog? So I don't think the concert bands had played that much polka music at any point in its history. But that was what I picked because that was what I found to be the most fun to play on a tuba was polka. So since I joined that band because, you know, they needed a tuba player, I got a good voice in what music we played to practice throughout the week, and I picked a lot of polka. I think everybody else hated it that year, but I had so much fun. And I got a lot better at the tuba because I actually practiced that music, and I didn't really particularly practice the other concert band music. So I actually managed to test into second chair tuba the next year because my skills improved so much. Because not only because I was enjoying it and practicing it, but also just because there's more participation for a tuba in polka music. So I did actually get to play more in general. But yeah, it's one of those things. If you're not interested in the subject matter, you're obviously not going to put in the same amount of effort. Sorry, I'm just checking my time really quick because I have somebody coming to buy actually my bass guitar case. I put a bunch of stuff on Facebook Marketplace this week because I don't want to move things that I'm never going to use. So, like, I finally accepted that I'm never going to be able to play guitar again. So I have my amp listed, I have a guitar stand, and then the case all listed. And I'm just waiting for this guy who was going to let me know when he was on his way. It was supposed to be half an hour ago, but that's alright. Maybe he's running late. Just so he doesn't, like, pull up without letting me know and I don't hear him because I got headphones on. We should start a polka band. Yeah, man, I wish. If I still had a tuba, I absolutely would. That was so much fun. It was so much fun. I never thought I would have enjoyed polka music so much, but it's a lot of fun as a tuba player to play polka music. Okay, I think this is dry enough, so I'm gonna spray this now because I'm pretty happy with how this came out. I think it doesn't look too much like a Harlequin mask, which again was my worry with doing, you know, scales on a face. Actually, I think I'm gonna put a little bit of pink above this scale. Just a little spot because there's a lot of orange here. And I don't know how much of the eye makeup is going to balance that. Okay. Yeah, that looks a little better. I'll blend that. Do a touch up here. And then I think the rest of it, I do want it to kind of fade out around the edges, so I'm not going to do it too dark. Yeah, I'm really happy with how this is coming out. I'm not going to lie, I was kind of worried because I had tried to do the pencils for the orange peachy color too, and it wasn't working. I think it just needed more layers of paint for the pencils to actually grab onto because I only had one layer of white underneath the MSC. So now that I have those extra layers of the orangey paint, the pencils are holding much better. So yeah, I'm going to add her makeup next. I did finish the body. I have her sitting in this dress from Kyle at Button Arcade, which isn't the outfit she's going to end up in. I have another doll in mind for this outfit, but I just thought it was kind of a fun thing for her to wear until she's finished. So I did her body, and it is fully blushed all the way around, and it was a pain in the butt. And speaking of butts, it kept rubbing off of the back of her upper thighs, so I just painted it, and it looks sloppy as hell, but I mean, the color's there enough that it looks even when she's standing. And also the armpits. I couldn't get the armpits to be painted. It kept coming off. So I ended up painting with acrylic instead of the pastels. I put a thin layer of acrylic and then sprayed it again. And it doesn't look even at all. Like, it's kind of a mess if you look really closely. But if you don't look too closely, it looks really nice. And most of that's going to be hidden under clothes anyway. And I'm pretty sure I'm not going to sell her just because she's so delicate. I don't think I have any way that I would be able to ship her without damaging, like, the colors. Because, again, this is the first time I've done this and I had no idea what I was doing. So she's going to just hang out in my collection, I think. Oh, the rainbow cloud pants. That's awesome. This is the first thing I managed to get from her. I miss everything because everyone else is so fast and I'm so indecisive that by the time I decide what I want, everything is sold. So I was really glad. I had several that I wanted. My first choice, actually, somebody else had claimed during the live. So I was nice and I didn't claim that one out from under them. So I went back and picked my second choice, which was the black and white set. The one I really wanted was the one that Jair got. It had like all of the fringy sequins on it. Okay, I just want to make sure this is super dry before I spray it because it is watercolor and I don't want it to run. So I think we're good. I'm going to put a layer of my fixative on there. Okay. And I probably should be spraying outside. I am aware of this before anybody comes in the comments and yells at me if anybody is silently watching and freaking out right now. But it's, yeah, I mean, it's as humid here as it is for you, so you can't spray this stuff outside. Oh no, and I just dropped her and I smudged her nose. Oh. That's what I get for trying to shake her dry. That's alright, that's a quick fix. Quick fix. Since the fixative is not as good of a seal as like MSC, I can kind of just, I can pull it up where it's still sticky. So I'll be able to repaint that on the same layer. Okay, so I'll let that sit and set for a second. There we go. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, like the goth rainbow ones. Uh-huh. Alright. Let's just, I gotta take the fixative off of here. Yeah, I hear it. Usually the home phone, it's either the library or CVS. That one was the library. It's a robocall, so they won't be offended. It's their automated message system. This is the Cuyahoga County Public Library calling to advise for held items for... Items will be held at the Berea branch until... I think we have 7 messages sitting on the machine right now. We're so bad. We really should answer those. Oh, that's not... It's not going on smoothly now. You see a little bump where I dropped her nose? Oh. So mad. Damn my clumsy hands. There we go. Okay, I think I got it into the area that got smudged. Let me just blot the extra off. Okay. No. If it's him, he's gonna be texting my cell, which is right here. I don't know where he's at. I never give out the home phone number because we never answer it. Okay. I'm not going to pick that up and shake it this time. I'm going to let it sit there. Because if I drop it after I just fixed it, I'm going to be real mad. Okay. Okay, so there we go. Looks much better. So I think I'm gonna fix the mouth where I got the paint on everything. Trying to think what the best way to do that would be. If I want to like tape up the other areas or not. I don't think I want to bother with taping. I'm just gonna get one of my itsy bitsy brushes. I just shoved everything that was on my kitchen table that I didn't need into this box. I didn't feel like cleaning it properly. I had planned on cleaning it properly, and then I put my chair together, and I was tired, so I didn't. Alright, there's my two tiny brushes. So, yeah, that should be good. I need to grab... Got red. I just need to grab the pink that I used for the gums and nostrils. And the glossy sealant. Yeah. Let me roll myself over there. And my glossy sealant appears to have walked away. How strange. Did I put it over there, maybe? Nope. That's really weird. I don't know where I put it. Okay, well, I just won't be able to seal the teeth or gums or anything because I need my brush on sealant. My table isn't that messy. Maybe it is. Nope, it's not behind the computer. Whoopsies. I don't know where it went. Okay, oh well. gonna do, I think, the nostrils and gums first. Okay. I debated on giving her lips, but I think that... Uh-oh. I broke my camera. Hold on. I gotta... I think I have to reset my camera. Okay. Yeah, so I debated on giving her lips because I do want her to be, you know, she is a lady reptile, but I think that it didn't read as reptilian with lips. It kind of read more like somebody painted their face green and put a mask on. So I opted not to do lips. Which unfortunately does limit the makeup options just a little bit because I wanted to do like crazy makeup colors. But that's okay. I'll just have fun with her eye makeup instead. I'll give her like some really dramatic eyeliner wings or something. Oh, now my face cam is frozen. Okay, let's try resetting this. Okay. If I ever have a stream without technical difficulties, I won't know what to do with myself. Alright, now I want to kind of correct. It's going to be really hard to show on camera, but I did go a little bit over with the green on the inside of the mouth, so I'm going to really carefully correct that. I don't know how much of that is even going to be visible once I close the head up, but I'll know it's there, and it'll bother me. Oh, so the orange went on the inside of here too. Okay. Alright, I'm going to do the tongue next. I want to do the teeth last because those are going to be the easiest to make a mess of. Okay, this might actually be the easiest to make a mess of because it's such teeny tiny little spots that I have to hit here. Just want to make sure I got it from all sides. Okay. Looks good. Oh, I got a scam comment. Oh, wow, look at that. Or spam, I mean. I don't want to buy followers and views. How do I get rid of you? I need to get a bot or something. Oh, that's weird. 2 different colored legs. Are they painted that way? Like, was one of them maybe discolored and they painted it? Or did they come that way from the factory? That's really weird. Interesting. Okay, that's right. These ones need to be stirred. Oops. I just launched my stir stick. Oh, I forgot to get the nostrils. That's alright, I'll get them after. I'm on a roll here with this mouth. I want to hit these teeth with the white. I'm trying not to completely cover the camera, but this is really hard to do. Oh, this little one in the corner is so hard. Alright, it's not going to be in the camera for a minute because I have to put it like right up in front of my face. I need to fix the pink because I went over with the white. Oh, huh. Interesting. I think I only have one Blythe with a Lika body, so I don't know if that's a common thing or not. But maybe I'll have to check my girl and see how her legs look under a black light. I've kind of been on a mission to get dolls with every type of body just so that I'll be able to make sure that my clothes fit all the different types, or that I'll at least be able to list which ones they fit and which ones they don't. So far I've got the girl I got from Betsy, who is a Bazek doll. So they have their own body type. I now have both the large bust, or, you know, the regular size bust, and the small bust, Pure Nemo type bodies. My Emily has a Leica body. And then I've got Drusilla, who's got the Takara body. And then Lilith, who is my Franken doll, who has parts from several different kinds of dolls, has one of those awful shiny plastic jointed bodies. Which, you know, I love Lilith, and I'll probably put her on a better body at some point, but those bodies just, they don't pose very well. They're kind of floppy. Like the joints are floppy. And they're slightly bigger than every other body type. So clothes don't really fit them as well. Like, they're bigger in every area. Like, they're just wider in general. Like, the arms are wider, the legs are wider. I think they're actually, like, half a centimeter taller. So it's not like a super noticeable difference in any particular area, but they're just slightly bigger enough in every area that things don't fit on them quite perfectly. Alright, I gotta do this one looking at me because the lighting is making it difficult to make sure that I am removing my brush strokes. Oh, damn it, and I hit the tongue. I have to fix that again. Yeah, a lot of people in the community do seem to really prefer the younger look for Blythe dolls. I get it. I do. I just personally see my dolls as older. I kind of always have. Like, I was never really super into baby dolls. So, I don't know. I just don't really see them. Hi, Anonmatronic. No. It's an original character I created. She's just a little alien lizard girl. Trying to get her fully in the camera. Here we go. So, alright, this is my sketching out ideas for her face. So, she's gonna have, I'm gonna make her a yarn wig. And I just downloaded and printed these out to make for her eyes. So I haven't picked which ones I'm gonna do yet. But I'm liking these moons. And I kind of like the galaxy next to them. So I might go with those. Or these little rainbowy ones here. She's almost done. Oh yeah, Patrick's dolls. Yeah. He also did a custom Baby Yoda with an armature in it that was posable. And that was kind of amazing, not gonna lie. Just trying to make sure that my face is still matching my body here. I think we're still a pretty decent color match, so good enough for me. It's really hard to get the pastels to exactly match acrylic paints, but I think that's about as close as you can get. And with the clothes on, it's not as noticeable that it's a different color. So, I'm gonna do, I think on my next stream I might do some sketches of outfits for her. Because I kind of have an idea in my mind of the final look I want to give her, but I don't have anything concrete planned out yet. Just sort of, I have ideas for colors. That's about as far as I've gotten with the planning for that. Yeah, okay, so I think she's probably done for now. Because I want to spray her with MSC before I do the makeup, just so that I don't smudge any of the watercolors. I'm just taking one last look at that mouth, making sure it's okay. I don't think I need to fix anything else. I see no more corners that need touch-ups. Oh, I need to do her nostrils. Keep forgetting that. I was just so focused on her mouth. I forgot that I had painted over the nostril color. Gotta fix it. Yeah, I have several that are about halfway finished right now. Some of them are younger characters and some of them are older. So, I mean, I do like a range of ages for my dolls. It's just that the original characters I make are usually a bit older. I don't know, I guess I just find them easier to relate to if they're older. Alright. Oh, no, I gotta bring this one a little bit further down. Just trying to get them. It's like trying to paint eyebrows. You just have to remind yourself, sisters, not twins. Okay. I think they're even. Looks even to me. Even enough. Especially since I'm not selling her. Because she's got a lot of imperfections. I think I did go a little bit over on that side. Just nudge it back in the right direction. Okay. Yeah. Okay, so there's her face done. Until I can get to her makeup. What time is it? Oh, it's almost time for me to end anyway. I may just call it a day just because I'm kind of tired after putting the chair together. I know that probably sounds really sad to most people who would hear that, but like, I've had a lot of pain for the last several days and haven't slept well, and then I spent an hour putting together this big heavy monster of a chair, which was more of a workout than I was expecting it to be. So I think I may end a little early today. Hopefully I won't start quite so late next time. So, yeah, Thursday I will be back with my game stream again. I think I'm going to start Limbo, which is like a spooky kind of, oh my god, I am tired. What's the word? Platformer. I just totally lost my train of thought. Oh my god. My brain is going to sleep without me. But yeah, Thursday at 9 o'clock I'll be doing that. And then next Tuesday, hopefully I'm going to be finishing my Lizard Girl. I also have a sort of commission that's not really a commission that I'm working on for my seamstress friend. So I'm hoping to be doing something that'll be a little more exciting to watch with her face by then. I've just been carving and sanding until now. So I'm done with the carving and I'm going to start her makeup, so I may do that if I haven't gotten to it yet on Tuesday. And if not, what I'm really hoping, I want to get to Michael's and grab some better UV resin because, let me grab my doll over here. So I have all but finished Fran Bow, except that she needs, obviously, eyeballs. So I'm going to make Fran's eyes because her iMac is in pieces that I can't figure out how to put back together. So I may do that next week on my art stream. I bought this mold on Amazon. And it's got all different sizes. So I figure one of these has to work with this head. I'm going to get UV resin. I already have, like the actual irises that I can print out, and stick on there. So I may do that next week. I don't think there's anything else I need to say. I'm so tired. My brain is just like stopping. It's completely shutting down without me. So I'm going to go make some dinner, and just chill for a bit. But thank you for watching, Julie and Anon Matronic, and anybody else who's watching. I will be back on Thursday with games, and then next Tuesday with more art. So, bye everybody.